What do you do with Nazis? Do you kill them? Why does Hamas still in business? I was under the impression if we see a Nazi, you kill them. Hamas is a Nazi on steroids. So why is Hamas still in business? So I met you, 20 years ago?
Approximately.
20 years ago, I came to you for a listing, Beacon Tower.
You did.
And I remember it was $5.5 million. And you almost threw me from the office. I was coming every time, right? How many times I came to you? One time, 2 times, 3 times. No listing.
I don't know how many times you came, but I eventually sold it for $15 million.
15 million.
1.5.
1.5.
That's correct. 15 million. I had 5 or 6 branch offices. Then I moved to Florida and I got into real estate. I actually bought 2 hotels in the late 1970s because one of my clients came in to buy insurance.
Continue.
And the gentleman came in to buy insurance.
Close
and
the door.
he needed to insure a building. So, of course, I gave him a quote on his insurance, and he came out. He wanted to give me a check for $10,000. So he hands me his checkbook, and he asks me to write out the amount. So I wrote out $10,000 deposit. Then he handed it to his 10-year-old daughter and said, What did Mr. Cohen write? She said he wrote $10,000. So then I said to him, why did you ask your daughter to read it? He goes, because I can't read English. So the gentleman was buying a building. He came back about 6 months later. He says, I want to cancel the policy. And I go, why? What's wrong with it? He goes, no, I sold a building. I made a $2 million profit. So I said, I'm in the wrong business. I should be in real estate.
You woke up, son. Suddenly you woke up.
Correct.
Right? Then you transfer from being an insurance agent to buying properties.
Right. I actually did both of those simultaneously for about 10 or 15 years.
Right.
Bought properties and continued to run the insurance business.
And I know you had a big purchase of a condo conversion that didn't go your way, right? You want to tell us about it?
Actually, the condo conversion, which was maybe the 3rd or 4th multifamily asset that I owned, it went great until America fell off the horse. I purchased it in the year 2005 from Equity Residential for over $61 million. I put in over $10 million equity.
Of your own money?
Of my own money from the sale of 2 properties in a double 1031 exchange.
What was your intention to make how much?
Well, we purchased it for $61 million. We had 368 apartments, and the sellout was about $95 million.
Wow, it's a true story, guys. It's a true story.
And then 2005 became 2009.
Right.
And all the banks in the U.S. were failing. We lost Countrywide, Washington Mutual, Bank Atlantic. We lost so many banks that we couldn't find lenders for our condominium buyers anymore, the people that were buying the condominium apartments. And eventually, I actually paid off Chorus Bank completely, a $50 million loan. No. But the mezzanine lender was quite predatory, and we lost the property to the mezzanine lender.
That's what they got you. Yeah.
That's correct.
So 3 years ago, maybe some 4 years ago, you approached me for a property in Miami, property called Park Miami. Property on 179th Street and 441. Pretty much undone, right? And he came to me and said, yeah, let's do this deal together, right?
Correct.
234 units. We actually bought the property together. We managed it. It was pretty good. The water bill. You want to tell the audience about the water bill?
Sure. The property was called Park Place.
Park Place, thank you.
Park Plaza.
Park Plaza, right.
We changed the name to Park Place. Mm-hmm. And we bought it for about $33 million. And every month we began having these incredible water bills. We eventually went out to sell the property during COVID, and we found a buyer at $41 million.
Right.
And then the buyer was a little bit upset that every month the water bill was the exact same amount, and they couldn't understand.
$25,000, $28,000?
Every month the water bill was a flat amount. I believe it was $25,000 or $30,000 a month. And
so you mean it jumped from $12,000 to $30,000?
it doubled or tripled. But the odd thing about the water bill, it was exactly the same every month for many, many months.
Right.
So the buyer got very aggressive and upset, thinking that our financial statements were incorrect. So, of course, you called me to tell me about this, or I called you to ask you what's going on here, and you explained to me that you had a deal with the city to pay a certain dollar
Correct.
amount until
Right.
the amount was corrected,
Right.
because there was a huge water bill coming in every month for $35,000, $38,000, $33,000, and nobody could determine what was so expensive, and everybody thought there was a leak.
So you changed. We did change the toilet valve, right?
What we ended up doing was we hired various people to locate a leak, and there was no leak. Finally, I brought in a plumber that worked for me some years prior, and he examined everything, and we found out that the floats in the toilets, which were supposed to be LED, so many gallons per flush, were the wrong ones that were installed. And so all of these toilets leaked 24/7, and the tenants didn't tell us.
Right.
So we had a tremendous problem with water flowing literally around the clock. And we had to rehire the company that installed the wrong floats. We had to buy literally thousands of new floats to install in these hundreds of units and solve the problem and sold the property for approximately $41 million.
Right. So we ended up selling the property, and I believe
Selling the property during COVID.
during COVID, and we were able to get an IRR up in the 20s, mid-20s IRR.
Not only that, but we had, of the 240 some odd tenants, we had about 100 tenants that were not paying rent during COVID for whatever reason. And we were getting very hostile emails from the secondary lender, the mezzanine lender, which was getting very nervous that we weren't paying the first mortgage because we were short hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what we agreed to do was to pay all of these delinquent tenants $1,000
to get out.
And if they would leave, we'd give them $1,000 moving expenses, and we would not sue them for the $10,000 or $15,000.
Very smart move.
Thank you. The $10,000 or $15,000 or
Right.
$16,000 that they owed us.
Right.
And if they refused to move, we would pursue them and sue them,
Right.
mess up their credit, and pursue them and garnish their wages. Every single one moved out.
Right.
We replaced them, new tenants, sold the property with over 90% occupancy
And at the end of the
during
day,
COVID.
we paid the lender. Lender was happy.
Everybody
the
was
press guy
happy.
was happy. Everybody was happy.
Everybody
That's
got
a perfect example, okay, of how you turn around a property and you make it better.
I saved the day twice.
Saved the day during COVID, mind you.
I did.
During COVID, mind you. Yeah, that's good. That's big. That's why you're my partner, okay?
That's why I'm sitting here.
That's why you're still here. Right, there you go.
We were talking about several of our joint adventures together, and I wanted to ask you a question. What was the event that you feel that brought you into doing multifamily and transitioning from more commercial and retail
Well,
properties?
we'll use your example, my friend. You sell a property, you make a nice commission at $10,000, $50,000. It's not bad. Sometimes you make $100,000. Actually, my first check was $255,000 back in the days. It's a lot of money, going back over 25 years ago. But you know what? I found out that, I'm showing property, I'm selling property for people come up north from New York, and they buy the property, they sell it within a year, they flip it, they make $2 million, $3 million. Okay? So my wife, okay, she's like, my wife, that's my better half.
Exactly.
She told me, you know what? You're doing very well. I'm happy. What do you mean? I'm making money, $50,000 commission, $100,000, sometimes $200,000. What's wrong with that? Nah. She saw my broker popping pills, chop, 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 all day because the guy's been doing it for 25 years. I don't want to be like this guy. You need to think about transition. Transition? I'm a young guy. I'm in my 30s, okay? Leave me alone. I have some time. No. You're going to start buying your own properties. Needless to say, she said I'm going to buy one or two. No, I went ham. So basically, just like you you got $10,000 check. What's better, a $10,000 or $1 million? No, but you have to work smart because everybody wants to do the same thing. And unfortunately, you have a lot of people that it's not, you have to have what it takes to do it. Because I'm a kind of guy that, for me, failure is death. I can't fail. Does Israel fail? What happened if Israel fail? How many operations Israel went to the last 70 years? So many,
failure
tons of them.
Failure is not an option.
Failure is not an option because there will be no Israel.
Exactly.
That's my mentality. And unfortunately, sometimes, it can hurt because, sometimes I'm very stubborn. Very stubborn, but thank God, we weathered the storm. I'm not going to say I don't have hard times, just like anything else. But you always want to keep your winner bigger than the losses.
Exactly correct.
Right.
As long as you make more than you lose, we're okay.
Right.
Well, I had another interesting question for you to answer, which is, so why did you move from commercial into multifamily?
Good point. So I'm a kind of guy, I always like to keep smart company with me. What does it mean? My friends, my partners are smarter than me. I'm the most stupid person in the room. For example, I have a manager for property, right? If my manager in the property right now in Gainesville she's just smart as me, I didn't do anything. She needs to be smarter than me to bring value to the table. So at the time I had a partner, an Indian guy, I don't want to mention names, good guy. He told me, you know what? He called me one time, said, listen, you want to make money? Yeah, I want to make money. Sell everything now. Get into multifamily. Get rid of all your commercial. I'm like, why? Multifamily, people need shelter at all the time. They're always going to need to rent unit. When you have retail, you have to find somebody who does a business, yes, to go to a place. Multifamily, people need a place to live all the time. Not to mention, the rent goes up every single year. In commercial, the rent goes up maybe 2%, 3%. You have to give a 5-year lease. In multifamily, you give 1-year lease, and then it can go up 10%, 15%. Sky's the limit. So while commercial is good, we believe that the multifamily is much better and much more rewarding than commercial. And by the way, lenders also, they love residential. The LTV, right, the down payment for multifamily is that much less than when it comes to commercial. Also, in bad economy, multifamily stays strong. So all those factors come into place.
What was the biggest mistake you made in your career in real estate?
Trusting other people. Trusting people that tell me, what, I can do this for you, I can do this for you. They misrepresent themselves. And you give them money to work with, and either they steal the money intentionally or they go to the bank and they assign an account. They are a signer in the particular account, they just take checks home. Terrible. Believe it or not, everything property-wise, one time I bought 120 units in Paloka, going back about 15 years ago. I went to the bank to the closing. I sold the property with $100,000 check. I lost $100,000. But other than that, thank God, everything we touch, it become gold. But when we get involved with bad partners, okay, development partners, they misrepresent themselves. That's the problem. But here's the bottom line. I cannot be passive. I got to be in control. Just like you. And by the way, when we did a deal in the Park Plaza, Miami, we both, you help a lot with the management. You were there, boots on the ground.
Of course.
You never left me hanging. And I can appreciate that very much.
I had many years experience in multifamily.
No ego.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There was no ego.
There's no ego.
No.
There's no ego.
You know what? Check out your ego out the door. That's the tip of
it's all
of the
about
day.
Making money and
check the ego out of the door.
And making the right decisions.
Right, exactly.
We
all want to get to the finish line. So the question is, how do we get there,
Eyal, what do you see for the future in the next couple of years in Florida in the multifamily
So I
space?
think Miami was already played out. Also Florida played out. There's very little room to go up in rent, and price per door is very expensive. And even if price per door goes down a little bit, the insurance price per door for the insurance is a double, triple, sometimes quadruple than Central or North Florida. So I believe the place to be right now is Central to North Florida. But definitely Florida is still a very hot place for investing.
What regrets do you have?
What's that?
Regrets.
My regrets I have is it's a like a broken record. Having bad partners.
Gotcha.
Don't get involved in stuff that you don't understand. Just like Bitcoin.
Right.
The Bitcoin went up to 110. I'm getting phone call nonstop. Buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. I'm like, why would I buy Bitcoin? What information do you have that I don't have? Well, it's going up, so I think it's going to continue to go up. That's not intelligent enough for me. If you don't understand something, do not do it. Do not touch it. Put the money in the bank, get 5%, okay? It's okay.
I totally agree.
Right. What regrets do you have over the last 50 years?
What regrets do I have?
I think I know the one you have, yeah. That big one in
My
Plantation.
only regrets truly are selling my properties.
The big
'cause
one.
Every one of them continues to go up in value. So
No, Big in Tower, you did very well.
I did very well. And like I say, I wish I still owned it because
Really?
everything continues to go up. And I think that jumping around is not as good as being stable, raising rents, refinancing, investing in other properties, and then keep reinvesting and keep refinancing. And just don't make impulsive moves, but think everything out in scenarios.
Right.
I received what I considered at that time a very high price. And because I had many successes previously,
Right.
I always thought that as long as I keep going on the elevator, it'll keep going
Right.
up. And of course, the elevator stopped in 2009,
Of course.
2008, and 2009. And it
We
collapsed.
did, yeah, during your time, your counter conversion, I did one too. We bought 160 unit, 168 unit in Deerfield Beach, right off Sample Road on the east side, right by Dixie. We paid $10 million just months before the crash. The previous guy paid $3 million. Okay, so 2 years later, I give the guy $10 million. People was like, "Are you crazy? What are you doing? You're giving the guy $7 million more." And by the way, 168 units, 40 of them were down to the stud. Fire damage, and he kept the insurance money. But we did counter conversion, and we sold it out at 3x, 3 or 4x,
You did
just
excellent.
before the crash. Yeah, so that was the good.
Actually, location is not it. Timing is everything.
Timing is everything.
Everything
Time
is
is everything.
timing.
And I would like to add something about selling property too fast. Like you said, you have some regrets for not keeping the property. I don't have any regrets because I don't mind leaving some meat on the bone for the next buyer as long as I make money. My CPA was telling me, listen, paying taxes is a good day in America. That means you're making money. And you know what? You cannot buy bottom and sell high. But there's plenty of money, plenty of meat in between. And that's what we did. And by the way, those property that they're very old, 1960s, they're very hard to cash flow because there's always something goes wrong with that. It's very old. When we sold that, so when we sell a property, there was no warning sign. We look to refi. We look at two options, a refi event or a sale event. So if the refi and the sale come just about the same, we like to refi and keep the property. But if the sale come twice as much or sometimes 3 times as much, okay, because you don't know what the market give.
Exactly.
Right. So you moved from being an insurance agent to real estate, full-time real estate. What advice you give my audience that they want to start real estate? Let's say they have a 9-to-5 job. How do you get going, transferring from 9-to-5 job to do real estate full-time?
You have to do both.
You have
It's
to do
hard
both.
work. It's hard work. Nothing is easy. There's no shortcut to becoming a professional.
Maybe
You
work in
have
the
to
evening.
just
Work in the evening. Or
work in the evening, work on the weekends, meet people, network, meet people,
Network is the
ask
key.
questions, ask
Right.
questions, meet people, go to meetings, listen, do a lot of listening, not a lot of speaking, ask questions, do a lot of listening. The more you listen, the more you learn.
What about partners? Partnering up with people? Did you have any partners?
Actually, I've been in many real estate deals. I've always had not only excellent partners, but partners that were much smarter than me. And I was very honored to be in deals with them. Many of them have gone on to make literally $100 million or more.
Same here, right.
So
you subscribe to the fact that you want to have smarter partner than you. Not on the same level.
always partner with bigger guys.
Bigger guys.
Always
Not
partner with
necessarily in
bigger
money-wise, but
Right.
in brain or in thought or in intelligent or in ideas. You need a partner to bring something else to the table.
Exactly.
Right. Otherwise, you didn't do anything.
No. You want to go with someone that has more to offer than you do. If one like you or I, if we could partner with somebody very big, and we could bring something to the table, it's a big win for everybody.
Right.
And leave your ego at the door. There's
Check
no
it out.
ego.
There's no ego. No ego. Are you still looking to purchase property? What are you doing these days?
I would love to purchase more properties. Right now is probably the time to wait to become the third person. So who's the third person, right? So I'll tell you who the third person is. The third person is a guy makes an investment. He buys a building. The building is $20 million. He puts down 25%, $5 million, and the bank lends him the other 75%.
That's a third person.
$15 million.
No.
Everything goes great until it doesn't go great. Okay? The guy loses the property. The bank takes it back and they sell it to somebody else for $8 million. That's the third person.
There you go. You don't want to be that third person.
I would love to be the third person.
You want to be that person.
I don't want to be the first person.
You don't want to be the first person.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the guy that overpaid and the market went against him.
So you're waiting for...
You can't control everything.
You can't control. But
can't
you're waiting for bargain? Are you waiting for the balls to come to you?
We're all waiting for opportunities.
Right.
Right now, the prices are very high. In Florida, insurance costs are very high, mostly because of contractors raising their prices and a lot of fraud going on in claims. So that's what's been driving the insurance costs very high. Right. Interest rates are high in construction. Mortgage rates are high for home buyers and condo buyers. So it's a very, very difficult time. Having said that, I do believe that Florida is the best market in the country.
Right.
It'll always continue to go up.
Because people coming in, not moving out.
People are coming in. Right. There's no Florida income tax. Great weather. Beautiful state.
Right.
A lot of flat lands. Millions and millions of acres to build on. Where are you going to go? Texas? You're going to go to California? You're going to go up north? Florida is the best place.
What do you think about America now after we have a new president?
I think we're headed into a tremendous economic era for everyone. I think we have a president that's cleaning up
big mess,
all the mess and dirt and lies and too many federal employees and excess government.
Right.
It's cleaning of the house.
Clean house.
It's like spring cleaning.
It's clean house.
Throw out all the garbage.
How about Dodge? Don't you love Dodge?
Dodge is great.
The best.
Dodge is great.
I think this country is very lucky to have him and lucky to have also Elon Musk. For that matter, for free. He's working for free.
Elon Musk is the opposite of a greedy person. Okay?
Doesn't have to be.
He's worth billions. He doesn't even care. He doesn't care that Tesla stock went down 30%. He doesn't care.
Did it go down that much?
Yeah. It did.
Wow.
It went from $480 to below $300.
Buying opportunities.
Soon. He's opening a factory in India, in Mexico. The future. It's all good.
The future, right.
Who would have thought that a guy would come from nowhere and knock out 100-year-old car companies like General Motors and Ford? He didn't knock them out, but they all had to reinvent what they do.
Put them out of business, almost.
It's the only car company that never filed bankruptcy.
Interesting.
General Motors, Ford, Chrysler,
All did.
all filed bankruptcies.
Right. They all did, yes.
And all the other 100 companies in the last 100 years all went out of business.
Why does Hamas still in business? I was under the impression if we see a Nazi, you kill them. Hamas is a Nazi on steroids, okay? So why is Hamas still in business? What do you think about Gaza being owned by America? New
America
development?
doesn't have to own it. The whole world has to chip in and renovate it,
So-
rehabilitate it, and fix it. And all those people
Right.
one day will live in a peaceful country. And I'm not saying it's going to be Gaza. I have no idea where they're going to go. But right now, the way Israelis are thinking, the majority of the country does not want hostile neighbors next door to them. They don't want that.
Well, here's my 2 cents on this, okay? America is going to help build it, right? Who's going to build it? America's going to build
Saudi
it.
Arabia.
No, America's going to build it. Might as well own it.
I don't know about owning it.
But they're going to build it. They're going to pour
They might
billions of
invest
dollars.
money. They might invest
They
money.
will. They don't have a choice. They're going
What
to build
Trump
it.
did with Ukraine
Right.
to partner on the minerals
Right.
was brilliant, out of the box thinking. We need people to think out of the box.
We do.
What's going
We do.
on now in the U.S. cabinet in Washington, you have a dozen people there that think out of the box. They're not going to
Right.
repeat the mistakes of the last 100 years.
The thing is, America is always there to build other countries. We are number one, always.
We're the most innovative country in the world.
Right. And people don't appreciate.
Some people appreciate it. I think America is making a sharp turn.
America woke up. Election night, they
We
woke
woke
up.
up.
I am very proud of them.
I actually think now that Trump won the election 4 years earlier.
It did.
Yeah, I never thought that, but I think it now.
It did win. Yeah.
I think there was a lot of
fraud.
shit that went on.
I believe it. Yeah. And now I'm reading about Trump running again for third term.
I don't know about that.
Too
we may
old.
get
It's too old.
DeSantis. We may get Vance. It's all
Right.
good stuff.
Right.
America
Very nice.
woke up.
America woke up. Right.
Right. I just hope that the millennials and Gen X wake up too.
That's a good point, by the way. Yeah, that's a good point.
They have to learn from the smarter people.
They're
in the room,
very lazy.
which are their parents and their grandparents.
It's not the same. Exactly. The old generation is dying off, dead.
Absolutely.
And the new generation, they're very lazy. They want to work from home with underwear, okay, or naked. And it's not productive.
They want to sit at
You got
home,
to show up to work.
keep their computers on, and
Right.
make people think they're working.
They're not working.
Asking them to write a short email, what they did last week,
Right.
is an excellent idea. And anyone who
Agreed.
doesn't write that email
Agreed.
deserves to get fired.
Agreed. Very nice.
With
Well, I think-
with no unemployment benefits either.
No what?
Unemployment.
No unemployment,
No,
huh?
let them go find a new
So
job.
how did they find job? How did they,
It's not my problem.
they're not working? Right.
They need to work. They need to
work.
understand what that word means. No
Right.
more free lunch.
No more free lunch?
No more free lunch.
You don't want to pay for the lunch?
If they want free lunch, let them go visit their parents and grandparents.
Right. The thing is, people are lazy. They don't want to show up to work. They don't want to come in.
Not
They don't
everybody's
want, it's
lazy.
Not everybody, but a lot of them
There are
are.
a lot of smart.
Well, let me
people-
ask you. You go to a restaurant. What do you see? Who's your waiter, waitresses? You see young people or old people? I see old people.
I see old people. I see everybody.
I see old.
I see America.
I fly in airplanes. Okay, I see all. I see the flight attendant, older age, captain, older age.
That's
I don't see
because
young people.
need to keep working because the cost of living is so high.
Agreed,
They
but the
can't
young,
live off their social security check.
But you
they
can't-
need to supplement their income.
but the young people are not applying for jobs. They're staying home.
They all want to be analysts.
They wanna be
When
influencers.
we ask them to come to Florida, look at the property, they go, "What do I have to come look at the property? You know what you're doing. I don't know. I analyze the paperwork.
Right.
It says we're going to make money, so I'm okay."
EB5 coming to an end. Your opinion, 60 seconds.
I'll tell you about the EB5.
Okay.
My cousin came to me about 25 years ago, from Israel. He wanted to come to America, and he made several large investments here, and he wanted to become a U.S. citizen. He asked me to sign his EB5, which I did, and today he owns properties worth over $500 million.
Because of you.
Not because of me, because of his hard work.
Yeah,
The
of
only thing I
course.
did
Right.
was sign the paper.
You gave him the push. You gave him that
I
opportunity.
didn't even give him the push.
Wow.
He asked me to sign it, and I
But
did.
if you didn't sign it,
He'd still be here. He'd still be here because he loves America.
Right. Now, what about the gold card now?
You mean the Trump EB5 gold card?
Yes.
It's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Invest $5 million in the United States in a business.
And come to America.
Hire hundreds of people to work.
Mm-hmm. Basically, he's looking. He doesn't want to come. He doesn't want poor people to come to this country. He wants people with money, people that can add value.
Actually,
to this country.
Canada has a similar system. In Canada, if you want to enter Canada, and the people that could enter Canada and become citizens on a fast track are those coming from British Commonwealth countries like India and Pakistan and Jamaica and others. And those people can fast track to become Canadian citizens on a point system. If they're doctors or lawyers or they have professional qualifications, they go to the front of the list.
Canada is a little bit too cold for me. A little bit.
No, but I'm saying for those people to emigrate from their country where they were born and bring their family, it's on a point merit system, which is the way it should be. It shouldn't be sneaking in from Mexico.
No, So I think my sense on it, all the illegal immigrant, not the criminal one, the illegal immigrant, have them go through a process of applying for paperwork, applying for immigration, and show a job that you work in someplace, and get them legalized.
Pay taxes.
Pay taxes. Okay,
it doesn't
I have
have
no problem
to be,
with that.
It doesn't have to be 5 years.
Not the criminal. Okay, obviously the criminal.
Correct.
And by the way, even the American criminal, get them out of here.
No, criminals should
any
go
criminal
to jail and then be deported at the end of the sentence.
Don't even put him in jail. Could pay money for the jail. Get him out. That's not a conversation.
Depends on the crime.
Right. But definitely, I think the illegal immigrant can add a lot of value to this country if they go through the proper channel.
America is a country of immigrants.
It's all
My
immigrants.
parents were
all
immigrants.
I'm immigrant. Your parents were immigrants.
Everybody is an immigrant.
We all are.
We killed all the Indians. Everybody is an immigrant.
Right. Yeah, but okay, I mean, you need good people, meaning that, like your handyman, clean people, okay? They want to work. They want to come in, work 9 to 5 and go home and put food on the table.
Absolutely.
They're not looking to kill anybody or to rob anybody or to steal, okay? They want to do decent work. And just a lot of them stuff on the bottom, then, they go up.
About 10 years ago, 2010, 15 years ago, I went to Africa. I went to Ghana.
I remember that. You went with your friend?
I went with a friend of mine to Ghana.
Right.
Because real estate in Florida, in the U.S. wasn't working.
Right.
And when I came back months later, people said to me, tell me about Africa. What are the people like? What do you eat? I go, what do we eat? We eat chicken. We eat regular food. And the people, they used to have 8 kids. Now they have 2 children. And they both go to school. And then they go to university.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody wants the same thing for their family.
Security,
education.
And live better. As a parent, you want your kids to do better than you.
Right.
Always.
Right.
It's not always the case. The problem is, if the kids are born into money, they don't want to do the work, or they're lazy, or they're not that motivated, if you know what I mean. They're not bad, but they're not motivated.
I agree. I think that billionaires shouldn't leave their children more than $100 million.
That's it. That's still a lot of money.
They need to work the money, give the rest of it to the right charity.
That's the key. The right charity.
The right charity.
The right charity. That's the key.
The right charities.
Right.
Not the woke charities.
No, you don't like woke?
They don't need woke charities.
Woke charity.
We don't need to send the money
in this country is very bad. Very, very bad.
Or to Iraq so they can learn about...
Right.
I don't even want to talk about it. It's so weird.
That's another conversation, yeah. Can you imagine the Izzy Cohen, Governor
DeSantis.
Yeah. He's not talking about property taxes?
I don't understand where the
I think he is talking about that.
He's talking about eliminating the property taxes.
But somebody has to pay for it.
I don't know. Maybe Florida has an excellent system of balancing the budget.
Right.
So that's a good thing. It's a good thing.
We have a good governor.
Actually, the more money we put in the hands of people, the more people spend the money in the things that families want, whatever that is, whether it's higher education or a better lifestyle or travel. All of those things are all good things. Eat properly, better food.
Mm-hmm.
The most important thing in the U.S. tax code is the deductibility of interest on your home
Now,
because that promotes building homes, selling homes, buying homes.
What do you think about IRS going away? Our president wants to introduce the new concept, external interest rate, meaning instead of having internal revenue, you're going to have external revenue from tariffs, stuff like that. So there'll be no more income tax. I don't think that's going to happen either.
I don't think it'll happen, but the idea behind it is to grow the U.S. economy internally and slow down the purchase of goods from China,
right,
and Mexico and other countries.
You realize 1920 we didn't have income tax, right?
I do.
We relied on paying taxes from tariffs. What happened to that? So he wants to bring it back.
I love thinking out of the box and trying new ways to make money and reduce spending in the government. Less regulation is better. More regulation is absurd. We don't need 2 million or 3 million employees in the federal government alone. That is totally
Washington,
ridiculous.
D.C. is the most employed city in the world, where employers have so many people, 2 million people. Crazy. It's
mostly
insane.
government employees.
Insane.
And lobbying companies.
Right.
And people providing services.
And by the way, most of them work from home. Okay, so you have a lot of office buildings the government pay for it. Okay, in the vacant, empty buildings. No more.
America needs to be reimagined. The government needs to be reconstructed.
And right.
Mr. Trump is going to do it.
Right. Well, we're happy to have him.
Because he's the first president that's a billionaire. He doesn't care. He doesn't even take a salary. He truly
travel the
loves
world.
America.
Okay, how many good years the person has? Tell me.
He truly loves America.
I believe it. Yeah, I do believe it. And by the way, this time around, Trump is much more calm. He's not obnoxious like in the beginning. First time around, which we still have him.
He's less confrontational.
Yeah, much less.
More experimental.
Much less. Yes.
Maybe more brazen, more emboldened.
Correct.
He's proud of his accomplishment, so good for him.
People are jealous of him because he's got so much money. Who cares? Or whatever. They can have it in
all
cup
that
of coffee.
money is working. It's not sleeping. It's working.
Listen, I don't care if he's obnoxious. I want to pay the bills. I want to pay the bills.
I'm going to tell you about Donald Trump.
Right.
He has beautiful, intelligent children. What is Biden going to say about that? His son is a loser,
Biden
a drug addict,
right,
and a womanizer.
Yeah, Biden is sleepy.
Forget about that.
Not even he
doesn't
even know what's going on.
Look at his children.
Terrible,
okay?
terrible.
If you want to know about a person, look at their offspring.
Right. Thank you again for coming. And I hope to wish you much success in life. And if you have a good opportunity, don't be afraid to share.
Always, always.
Okay.
Thank you.